If you're thinking about moving to Missouri or Kansas, chances are you've considered two of the biggest cities in this region, Kansas City and St. Louis. But which one is the best fit for you? Both have their own unique charm, job opportunities, and the cost of living differences, but one of them might be the clear winner for your lifestyle. Well, in this video, we're putting Kansas City and St. Louis head to head to see which city comes out on top. We'll break down everything from the housing market, cost of living, to job opportunities and entertainment. And so whether you're relocating for work, looking for the best suburbs, or just curious which city is a better place to live, you'll want to stick around. Plus, I'll share the biggest pros and cons of each city to help you make the best decision before you move. So let's get started, and we're going to get after it right now. And if this is your first time on our channel and you want to know everything there is about moving to Kansas City, or maybe you're comparing it to St. Louis, then be sure to subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so you never miss an update on our local market here. Hello, my name is Jimmy Zell. My wife Nikki and I are realtors with the Living in Kansas City team. We get calls, text messages, and emails every day from people just like you and you and you. And so whether you're trying to figure out which city is the best fit, whether you're relocating in 7 days or 7 months, definitely reach out to us. All of our contact information is in that description box, and we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Kansas City. Or if you're thinking about St. Louis, we've got friends there that can help you out as well. So let's jump into really what is the big difference between Kansas City and St. Louis. Okay, so let's dive into some of the differences. The first one, let's give you just a little bit of the land size, that area of each metropolitan area. So Kansas City approximately has 8,472 square miles, as well as a population of about 2.2 million people, approximately 260 people per square mile. Now, St. Louis, on the other side, has 8,458 square miles and about 2.8 million residents. So it's just a little bit bigger, approximately 340 people per square mile. And so that's kind of put a little perspective on how big each city. Very, very comparable in terms of the land size, and then population wise. If you look at Kansas City, the metropolitan area, the MSA, the metropolitan surrounding area, has about 2.1 million residents. And on the St. Louis side, you have about 2.8 million residents. So St. Louis is a little bit bigger than us. I remember growing up, we would actually drive to St. Louis, and living from Kansas City, and then we'd drive to St. Louis, go watch a Cardinals game or go to Grant's Farm or anything like that. And I always thought, man, this city is so much bigger. But really, they're almost about the same. And so those are really in terms of population. St. Louis definitely has a little bit higher population density than Kansas City. And then what ends up happening is the ratio of demographics in each city is, let me give you some of those statistics as well. So in Kansas City, you got about 70% Caucasian, 12% African American, 10% Hispanic, 3% Asian. And it's actually almost about the same in St. Louis. You got 71% Caucasian, 17% African American, 3% Hispanic, and 3% Asian as well. So the population mix is fairly close, a little bit more in certain categories. But the good thing about Kansas City and St. Louis is you have this Midwest feel. That Midwest hospitality is like what we call it here in Kansas City. And so that's a little bit about our population. Now let's talk about crime rates. Now, Kansas City overall has about 65 per 1,000 residents in terms of overall crime rate. St. Louis goes to 70 per 1,000 residents in terms of their crime rate. Violent crime, so you've got Kansas City at 14.76 per 1,000 residents, and then violent crime in St. Louis is 15 per 1,000 residents. Now, talking about crime, we have a video out there called, I think it's called Kansas City Hoods, exposing some of the areas in Kansas City. Definitely go find that video, and so that way you can learn a little bit more about some of our neighborhoods. But just know this, both cities are fairly close in terms of number of violent crimes. St. Louis actually, though, has one of the highest crime rates among major cities. Because there's a part of St. Louis that most of us know about called East St. Louis that you want to be very careful of. They've got just a lot of high crime in that area. Once again, every time anyone here in the Kansas City side thinks about St. Louis, one of the things they talk about in terms of crime is that East St. Louis. That's how famous it is. It's a constant, it's constant conversation that place is definitely someplace you need to be aware of. All right, now let's switch gears. Let's talk about school ratings. Now, Kansas City per student spending, all right, is about $14,246 per student. Now, St. Louis, on the other hand, per student spending is $15,291. Now, what does that mean? St. Louis spends a little bit more on their education. Now, the student-to-teacher ratio in Kansas City is a little higher, 14.19 students. And then in St. Louis, it's at 12.2 students per teacher. Okay, so St. Louis spends a little bit more, has a little bit less in terms of student-teacher ratio. The high school graduation, though, for Kansas City is 91%. High school graduation for St. Louis is 89.2. So fairly close. St. Louis invests a little bit more, has a lower student-teacher ratio, but Kansas City has a little bit higher high school graduation rate. Now, one thing to consider too is that inside of Kansas City, especially if you're looking at Kansas City, we're definitely more familiar with the school districts. We have some of the top-rated schools, not only in the Kansas City, on the Kansas side, and on the Missouri side, in the entire region, but also in the country. So you definitely have some of those schools. And St. Louis actually has some of those as well. So one of the things that we can do is help you find the right neighborhood. Make sure you reach out to us. And if you have anyone else, friends that may be looking to move to Kansas City and they're doing a little bit of comparison between the cities, definitely share this video with them as well. One thing too that can help you out is in our description box is our relocation guide. Now, after you watch this video, I'll give you some of these tips. Definitely download, get that relocation guide completely free, whether we help you out or not. We'd love to help you. But if not, at least get that relocation guide so you can learn a little bit more about Kansas City. Okay, now let's talk about the overall housing market, the difference between Kansas City and St. Louis. Now, in Kansas City, the home values have increased about 30 to 40% over the past 5 years. Our median home price is anywhere from $275,000 to $300,000. And yes, we do have some suburbs that are much higher than that. I'll give you, for example, Leawood, Kansas, Parkville, Missouri. Some in the Kansas City area, those are much higher suburbs. We'll talk a little bit about that. New construction is definitely more prevalent in the Kansas City metro area, especially in places like Overland Park, Olathe, and Lee Summit. Now, St. Louis, they've got home values that have increased about 25 to 35% over the past 5 years. Their median home price, though, is around $225,000 to $250,000, making it a little bit more affordable than Kansas City. Now, in St. Louis, you've got more of the historic homes, the older properties as well, especially in places like Kirkwood or Chesterfield and St. Charles. And so those are just a little bit of the differences between the two. Now, let's talk about the Kansas City suburbs and the St. Louis suburbs that you might want to be thinking about. Now, on our channel, there is videos about Overland Park, Kansas. It's actually rated one of the top 7 best places in niche.com, one of the best places to live in the entire country. Number 7, one of the happiest places to live, one of the best places for young professionals. So Overland Park gets a lot of attention, especially in the Kansas City area. Median home price, though, in Overland Park is $475,000, up about 19% over year. Median sales per square foot is around $194. And then just know this, the median home market on days right now is typically like 35 days. So that just gives you a little idea of what the Overland Park market is. And then Lee Summit, median sales price in Lee Summit is $368,650, up another percent year over year. Same thing here. Median days on the market right now are about 43 days. And then Olathe, Kansas, you're at 588,600. Median days on the market about 77 days currently as we speak. And so that's a little bit about those cities here in the Kansas City area, some of the better suburbs in terms of median price, days on the market, and in terms of visibility as well. So you've got Overland Park, probably one of the top cities on the Kansas side of Kansas City. And then Lee Summit on the Missouri side is one of the top cities over there. And then, of course, Olathe. All three of those are actually in the niche.com top 30 of best places to live in the country. All right. One other thing, too, is that between those three cities, once again, there's videos on each one of those on our channel that you can find. And then now let's talk a little bit about the St. Louis suburbs. Number one, you've got Chesterfield, Missouri. The median sale price there is $472,500. Median sale price per square foot is around $179. And so great city. We've actually drove through there many a times. So you got Chesterfield. Then you have St. Charles, Missouri. Median sale price there is around $336,225, up again 6.7% year over year. I forgot to tell you, Chesterfield, if I haven't, is up year over year 8.8%. And then the last one that I just want to highlight is Baldwin, Missouri. Median home value is $387,841, and so up again 4.7%. So those are just a few suburbs for St. Louis, and so what's the big difference between the two? Well, Kansas City has actually seen higher appreciation rates over the past 5 years. As you can tell, we've got three cities in the top 100, booming economy in Kansas City. So, so you have that. Now, affordability-wise, St. Louis actually is a more affordable option, especially for first-time home buyers, okay, without those lower average price points. And then new construction, Kansas City suburbs like Overland Park, Olathe, Lee Summit, they definitely offer more new construction homes. There's still land that's being developed, and on our channel, we actually have a new construction playlist. If you are interested in that, you can find lots of different homes there to look at in neighborhoods. Now, St. Louis has that historic charm, though. Established neighborhoods with older, character-rich homes. You'll see a little bit more of that in St. Louis. And some of these markets in St. Louis, like Baldwin or Chesterfield, the homes do move very quickly. And so you have that as well. So, one of the things too that I want to encourage you is, if you're moving to the Kansas City area or the St. Louis area, in Kansas City, we can help you. Anywhere in the Kansas City metro area, we definitely can help you. And if you're looking in St. Louis, we have lots of friends over there that can help you as well. They're a part of our brokerage, and that's what's great about working with a big brokerage like ours, is that we can help you in either city, right? We can direct you to somebody that we would recommend. So you've got that as well. Okay, now let's compare the cost of living between Kansas City and St. Louis. Now, we talked a little bit about the housing costs. St. Louis median home price $225 to $250. Kansas City $275 to $300. So St. Louis offers definitely a lower entry price point in terms of getting into homes. Kansas City, though, has those home values that are appreciating much faster over the past 5 years. Now, let's talk about utility and everyday costs. So utilities are slightly higher in the Kansas City area. Groceries, healthcare, transportation costs, those are nearly identical between both cities. But just know Kansas City has a little bit higher utility bills. And I think, too, it's the factor of that, remember, in Kansas City, you have kind of split. You've got the Kansas City, Missouri side, and then you have the Kansas City, Kansas side, okay? And so you do have both differences in terms of where people are in the metro. Now, taxes, Missouri's income tax applies to both cities. Of course, you have St. Louis and Kansas City, and property taxes in St. Louis have a higher property tax rate, making up for its lower home prices. And on just in the Kansas City metro area, there are some higher tax rates as well, like in even on the like in Leavenworth, in some of the suburbs actually on the western side of Johnson County as well. And so St. Louis kind of edges out in terms of affordability overall, just because they have better better entry points for people to be able to get a home. The utilities are a little higher in Kansas City, that type of thing. And then, of course, the state taxes apply to both Kansas City and St. Louis. So St. Louis is a little ahead of Kansas City there, all right, in terms of the overall cost of living. And then because we know Kansas City so well, there are certain parts of Kansas City that the cost of living is really, really high. So like Leawood, Parkville, some of these places where the home appreciation and the demographics of people there, the median income is much higher in those places. But still, great places. Both Kansas City and St. Louis have some really great places. That you can have affordable cost of living as well. Okay, let's talk about entertainment and outdoor activities. Now, Kansas City, as you all probably know, we are the barbecue capital of, I think, the world. We have some really good barbecue places. I'm a big barbecue fan, famous for Joe's KC, Q39, Jack Stacks, Arthur Bryant's. I mean, there's so many great Gates Barbecue, so many. I should have started naming them because, you know, there's so many of them, but there's so many great barbecue places here in Kansas City. We're definitely known for that. You know, in St. Louis, the food scene over there, they're home to like the toasted ravioli, right? I don't know if you've ever been and gotten some really good like Italian type of food, St. Louis style pizza with the Provel cheese and gooey butter cake. I mean, St. Louis is known for some of this stuff, you know, in terms of their food. Now, in sports, though, some big differences. For football, it's all about the Chiefs, all right? We're Chiefs fans. Our entire family's Chiefs fans. And so, you know, Kansas City is known for their Chiefs. Now, St. Louis, though, because I'm actually a Cardinals fan. That's right. For all my Kansas City friends, don't hate on me too much. But growing up, I was a big Ozzie Smith fan. You know, Vince Coleman, Willie Clark. I watched him, you know, play. And then in '85, when the Cardinals lost to the Royals, it kind of like, you know, rattled me a little bit. But, you know, so you've got St. Louis Cardinals is definitely they're you know, definitely more kind of like our Chiefs are here in Kansas City. St. Louis's Cardinals are known for them. And then St. Louis has the St. Louis Blues, which of course is an incredible hockey team, where we have more minor league hockey here. But now let's move into the Royals. Royals are, of course, our Major League Baseball team. Lots of people love going to the stadium, bringing my grandsons out there. You know, what's really cool is when we do the I-70 series between St. Louis and you know, Kansas City, when they play each other, that's always a lot of fun. My dad, my son, my grandkids, we love to go to those type of games. Now in Kansas City, though, one of the big things for Kansas City, the St. Louis has the Blues for hockey. We have Major League Soccer. Sporting KC is here. We now have women's with the current, you know, in terms of professional soccer. So soccer is really big in the Kansas City metro area, of having Sporting KC do so well, and then the women's soccer, their first season, making it to the playoffs as well. And plus, in Kansas City, the riverfront area where you know, the current stadium is, and all the development down there, you know, you'll notice that there's a huge growth spurt happening in that little area down there where the stadium is at. And so Kansas City is known for its sports teams, just like St. Louis is for the Cardinals and the Blues. Now, outdoor spaces, there's a ton, okay? Now, in Kansas City and in St. Louis, a couple things, because of where they're at, a lot of people like to go south down to Lake of the Ozarks, of course. We used to live down there, and so, you know, kind of like almost in the middle between both cities. You can, actually it's closer to St. Louis, but the Lake of the Ozarks, there's a lot of fun there. But outside of that, both cities have tons of parks and recs and places for you to enjoy those outdoor spaces. Kansas City, we've got of course, we've got like give you some like Shawnee Mission Park. We've got a bunch of different lakes nearby, like Smithville Lake, you know, lake where people actually live, Wrist Lake, Lake Lotawana, all these little different lakes near the Kansas City area. Now, we also have a zoo, okay, but St. Louis has a really nice zoo as well. Plus, they're also known for the Gateway Arch, which is a big deal for St. Louis. So, great places to visit, have a lot of fun. I remember growing up and going to see the Clydesdale, like at Grant's Farm, going up in the Arch in St. Louis. And so I've always had a special place for St. Louis. Because it's so close, and you know, back then that's the only place we could afford. So Kansas City wins in barbecue and football, and we have a big jazz culture here, and St. Louis does too, but also a growing arts scene. But St. Louis definitely takes it in baseball and historic attractions, and probably some of the public parks as well. Okay, let's talk about the job markets now. In Kansas City, we have a great job market in terms of fastest growing areas like tech, healthcare, finance, and logistics, like some big logistics companies and areas of Kansas City now. Now in St. Louis, their big job growth is in biotech, healthcare, and manufacturing. Okay, in terms of major employers, Kansas City, we've got like Cerner, Garmin, Hallmark, you know, and so you've got some really big employers here. St. Louis, you've got Boeing, Anheuser-Busch, Express Scripts. Some of those are the major employers there. And then in Kansas City, our salaries are a little higher compared to St. Louis, okay? One of the things is Kansas City actually is known for attracting a lot of young professionals, especially in certain parts of, like in Overland Park area. There's a lot of jobs on the Johnson County side, especially, that attract a lot of the younger professionals, and our salaries tend to be a little higher, like I said, than St. Louis. St. Louis, more manufacturing, traditional industries, and a little bit slower tech growth than Kansas City. So Kansas City is known for their tech, logistics, finance, financial industry opportunities. St. Louis basically more for like biotech and manufacturing careers, and so definitely, compared to each other in terms of job opportunities, definitely do your research on that in terms of where you're going. And if you have any questions, then of course we can help you out with that as well. All right, so after breaking it all down, who wins, Kansas City or St. Louis? Well, that depends really on what's most important to you. If affordability, historic charm, and green spaces are your priority, St. Louis might be the better fit. But if strong home appreciation, new developments, job growth, and a thriving food scene are what you're after, Kansas City could be the clear winner for you. Now, both cities offer great opportunities, but your decision will ultimately depend on your lifestyle, budget, and your career goals. At the end of the day, both cities have their strengths and unique appeal. So it comes down to, what feels like home for you. Remember, if you're looking at the St. Louis area, we have realtor friends that can help you there. Just send us a message. We'll connect you both. And if you're thinking about moving to Kansas City, well, we'd love to help you. We want to help you make a smooth move to Kansas City. And so whether you're relocating in 7 days or 7 months, definitely reach out to us. All of our information is in that contact box below. We'd love to be your go-to realtor. Give us a call, shoot us a text anytime, or set up that Zoom one-on-one. We'd love to meet with you and help you out. And before you leave, make sure you just subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so that you never miss an update about the Kansas City real estate market and what it's like to live in Kansas City. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear what city you think is the best. And as always, thanks for watching this video. And until next time, we hope to see you around town.